What's going on, my MGTOW brothers? This is Blue, the recovering beta male, and I would like to welcome you all to another installment of the Recovering Beta Male podcast, where we are all about empowering men through enlightened self-interest. If you find this content to be of any value to you, please like, comment, subscribe, and share with your fellow MGTOW brothers. And now, let's get into the episode. What's going on, my MGTOW brothers? This is Blue, the recovering beta male. I'm coming at you on the Recovering Beta Male podcast, January 2019 is the time of this recording, and want to kind of touch on some things, man. This MGTOW shit. First of all, I want to kind of break down what MGTOW means to me, because I'm pretty sure that every man has his own personal feelings and definitions about what it means to be MGTOW. And we'll touch on some other stuff too, but I just want to jump right into the whole MGTOW shit and what it means to me. So first off, man, men going their own way. Well, I definitely think that it is highly appropriate for men to start thinking in those terms. We are living in a highly feministic society. Women are on the rise, and I'm not saying that that's a bad thing necessarily, but at the same time, I feel personally that there is a particular undercurrent to feminism that involves the emasculation of men. You see, I feel that a lot of feminists, even though they may not even be aware of it, are subconsciously seeking retribution for the many years and generations that women were mistreated, because women were, and to a degree, still are being disrespected and mistreated today. Women have been put down. They've been objectified. They've been disrespected. They have been shut out of certain things, certain aspects of society. Women have been disempowered in the past. And a lot of that has shifted today. Women have more power and control and influence today than I think they ever have. Females are the drivers of the global economy today. I'm not sure if you are aware of that, but they are. 70 to 80% of all purchases made in almost every industry are influenced at some level by a woman. So women are pretty much holding the purse right now, financially. In many households, you have a dynamic where, most households today have a wife and a husband who both work. But even in those situations, the woman is the one basically running the show in terms of keeping the bills paid, keeping up with certain things related to family expenses, keeping the household together, doing certain things for the children. And the man, the husband, he pretty much just goes to work, comes home. He might fuck around a little bit with the kids, whatever the case may be. But then he just kind of plops down in front of the TV and just kind of zones out, you know. And no, I'm sure that this is not the case in all households. I'm not trying to say that, but at the same time, I have observed it to be very true in many cases in my life. So, and then you take into account in the black community, this is especially true, where if the man is even present at all, that is pretty much the role that he plays. And it's a very sad state of affairs, I believe. But what it has essentially done is it has granted women more power, more influence, more control over things that used to be in the man's court. And so women feel entitled now to certain things. There is a certain entitlement mentality that I believe kind of complements the feminism movement. And, entitlement in anybody just really annoys me. I don't know how you feel about that, but it is really just kind of pisses me off that a motherfucker can have the attitude that they are entitled to any goddamn thing. I was brought up, and throughout my life, I have learned for myself the lesson that you got to earn your keep in this world. Obviously you have to earn whatever amount of money you have, whether it's a little or a lot. You have to earn respect. You have to earn whatever you have in your life that is of substance. That shit has to be earned. And when people have entitlement mindsets, it just really fucking gets under my skin. So I really do believe that a lot of feminists today are individuals that feel entitled to whatever. But, what else? Well, let me just kind of give you some background on myself, I guess. So I was dealt a challenging hand in life, and this is not coming from a place of self-pity. I'm just kind of putting my story out there to let you know why I feel like MGTOW is right on time. It's right on time for men today. I was dealt a hand in life in which I was born into a family where, for the most part, we were what you, I guess, would consider to be normal in a lot of aspects. But then again, we were very unconventional too. My mother was very sick. I was a caretaker pretty much for my mother for a very, very long time. Very long time. And I did have my father in the household. I did. But he pretty much played that role that I described earlier of the father, the husband, being the one who does in fact goes out to my mother, she was too sick to work. In our family dynamic, my father was the breadwinner because my mother was simply just too sick to hold down a job. She just couldn't do it. But my father was the one that was the breadwinner. He was the one that would go out, bring in the bacon, or bring home the bacon, as they say. And, but then that's pretty much where it stopped with him. His level of involvement with us after that, after he would get off work, was very minimal. And so my mother was the one that did most of the administration with the finances and keeping the bills paid and things of that particular nature. So I was also homeschooled, and that was a joint decision that was made by my parents to keep me and my brother at home. They wanted to. They were very dissatisfied with a lot of the shit that was going on in the private schools that we were attending at the time. There was some prejudice and racism that was going on, and it just, it wasn't a good time. It wasn't a really good, positive environment for me or my brother, my younger brother, to be in at that time in our lives. So they decided to start teaching us at home. And between that, the whole thing of being homeschooled and pretty much being full-time caretakers for our mother, it basically created a situation in which we spent the vast majority of our time around our mother and our mother's friends and our aunties and our grandmother. So we were basically saturated with the feminine influence. And what this basically resulted in was, as my brother and I got older and older, we came to realize that there were certain things that just were not quite right. First of all, we had difficulties relating to other men. Now, when I say this, I mean that, in essence, we were just simply more comfortable around women. We weren't socially awkward. It's not like, we couldn't even hold a conversation with another man. But, and I'm just going to try and keep this focused exclusively on myself. I'm not going to try to talk on behalf of my brother too much. But I know for myself, there was a particular unease that I felt pretty consistently whenever I was in the presence of mostly other men. However, that unease was relaxed and relieved when I was around more women. I also came to realize that I had difficulty in attracting the opposite sex. So whenever I would come across a young lady that I found to be sexually attractive, somebody that I wanted to hook up with, so to speak, I had difficulty, making it happen. It was like one of those things where, the girl wouldn't flat out reject me, but you could tell that there wasn't any sort of connection that was taking place. There was no sexual chemistry. There might have been chemistry as far as her just liking me as being a nice guy, but there was no sexual attraction. There was no, sexual tension between us. Even though I was sexually attracted to her, she would not reciprocate that same attitude and those same feelings to me because, subconsciously she could pick up on my vibe that I was a very feminine male. I was a beta male. And, this is all subconscious, man. This is all shit that we're totally unaware of for the most part in the moment while the shit's happening. But, that was pretty much what the situation was. So that created a lot of frustration for me because as a man, now think about this. I mean, as a man, how would that feel, or how does it feel if this is your situation as well? If you suffer from this issue, how does it feel to know that you are a man that is just a complete turnoff to women? You are not desirable sexually to women. Women basically see your ass as being one of them. When you get around other females, they look at you like a female. And again, this is all subconscious. This is all intuitive. This is, communication that happens on a level that is far below the conscious surface level of communication. But seriously, how the fuck does that make you feel as a man to know that bitches just don't see you as being that guy or that nigga that they want to fuck? You ain't one of them cats. You ain't one of them dudes, man. So you might as well just keep it moving. And it don't matter who the fuck it is that you're trying to approach. It could be some fat, ugly bitch, and she still ain't trying to give your ass no play, because you are a beta male. You are a very feminized male. And women can smell that fucking shit like you can smell fucking steaks on the grill at a barbecue. They can smell it, man. I'm telling you, they can smell it. They know without knowing your fucking name or hardly anything about you. They can tell that much about you. And it's frustrating, man, because what you'll find is that throughout your life, you will have difficulty getting or keeping, if you do get lucky enough to get a bitch, you will have extreme difficulty keeping them, because that's the life of the beta male. And so I am in this place right now where, like I said, because of the shit that I've been through, because of the place where it brought me to, being a very feminized man, being a beta male, I see MGTOW as being right on time and being something that the vast majority of men, if not all men, need to at least consider. Just consider what that means and how that would look in your life if you went your own fucking way. Now, like I said, MGTOW, men going their own way, we know what the acronym stands for, but what does that really mean to you as a man when you think about that? What images does that conjure up in your mind? What scenarios do you see playing out mentally for yourself? How would your life look if you went your own fucking way? I mean, just take a second to think about that shit for real. I mean, first and foremost for me, MGTOW simply means stop putting these bitches on fucking pedestals, dude. They don't deserve that bullshit. Look, I know women have been through. I know they've suffered. I know they've been disrespected. I know they've been put down. I know they've been sexually objectified and degraded and all that type of bullshit. But personally, in my very humble opinion, I don't believe that the solution to that is to emasculate men, is to make men feel guilty and ashamed for being men. I don't believe that that's the solution to the problem. But that's what feminism essentially does. See, if you talk to a feminist, she'll tell you that feminism is all about equality. And maybe to a point that's true. But like I said, there's also the undercurrent of guilting and shaming men for being men. And I know a lot of feminists would disagree with that. And of course they would, because they don't see the adverse effects of feminism. They're just focused on the objectives of equal pay, equal rights, which, as I have said, I don't see anything inherently wrong with that. But let me ask you a question. Have you ever felt guilty or ashamed for being turned on by women's bodies, anatomy? here's where I'm going with this. See, feminism or feminists, they essentially want you to love them for their minds, not for their bodies. They think that men who, glorify women's bodies are dogs. That's what men have been called for generations, who are, very sexualized. They always want to fuck, and they basically look at women as sex objects and notches in their belt. It's conquest, sexual conquest. I want to fuck as many bitches as I can. I want to knock them down. I want to knock them up. All that old kind of shit. Players and all that kind of shit, right? So feminists hate that kind of shit. They hate men who have those types of mentalities. They want men to basically just fucking lose all sexual attraction to women. They want for men to look at women in the way of being these highly intellectualized beings that should be glorified for their minds instead of their bodies. Listen, I can't speak from the perspective of a woman, obviously, but I can see how that might be annoying if you are a woman, if you are a female who is intelligent, who is talented, who has things to offer, things to contribute to society and to the world, and you want to be loved, respected, and appreciated for what you're bringing to the table in terms of contribution. But all the men around you just look at you as a piece of meat. I can see how that would be annoying and frustrating and aggravating beyond words. Like I said, I can't speak, like I've had that experience, but I can imagine how that would be just infuriating for somebody. You can't see anything else or appreciate anything else about me but my anatomy. Okay. Look here. Here's my response to that. Because I've actually said this to women that I've dated over the years. I say, look here. Now, I can definitely love you and appreciate you for more than just your body. I can definitely love you and appreciate you for your mind. I want a woman. I want a partner who is a contributor, who is intelligent enough to solve problems, to go out and work and earn and give back and contribute and do all of those things, who is resourceful. My mother was all of those things. Well, she couldn't go out and work, but, she did what she could do. She was still very much a contributor in our household. She contributed what she could. And I do love and appreciate that about women as much as I would any human being. But goddamn, if you think that I'm supposed to just shut my fucking hormones down and not be attracted to you sexually, physically, just at all, bitch, please, you out of your fucking mind. You are out of your fucking mind. I tell a bitch straight up like this. I can love you for your mind, but I could never love you for only your mind, not just your mind. I'm going to love you for your body too. Baby, it's a package deal. It's a package deal. I'm a man. I got testosterone. You take them goddamn clothes off and I'm going to fuck the shit out of you. You show me your ass. You show me your titties. You got your legs hanging out, skin looking all smooth and creamy and shit. Bitch, I'm going to fuck the shit out of you. And see, what women feminists like to do is they like to make men feel guilty and ashamed for having that very natural, instinctive, biological response. We're not supposed to be sexual beings, men. We're not supposed to look at women and be attracted to them physically at all. This is the attitude of the feminist mindset. See what I'm saying? And what's fucking ignorant about the whole goddamn thing is that women know, they've known for ages that a lot of their power is in their bodies, their sexuality, their attractiveness. A bitch knows it's all she gotta do. Show a little cleavage and shake her ass and we lose our motherfucking minds. That's the way it's always been. Now, women go around with tight ass skirts and shit, high heel shoes. They spend just outrageous amounts of money on makeup, hair care products, going to the salon, getting fixed up, looking pretty, looking beautiful. But we're not supposed to, be turned on by that. Men, that's not supposed to affect us in any way because we're supposed to just love you for your mind and only your mind. Bitch, get fucking real. That's just one little thing that annoys me about the whole feminist mindset. A man cannot be sexually attracted to a woman. If he is, he's out of line. He's out of place. He's a dog. Get the fuck out of here. There's a little stupid shit like that. And there's a lot more that we're going to touch on and go into here. But that's definitely one thing that pisses me off about this whole shit. I have established for myself that MGTOW means, like I said, quit putting these bitches on pedestals. They eat, sleep, and shit just like your ass do. They are nothing special. They're human beings. They bleed. They, have body odor. They have bad breath. They have smelly pussies. Some of them, they shit and stink up the goddamn bathroom. I mean, they are flesh and blood human beings. They're people. I do not think that they should be glorified or, put on pedestals and put up to be more than what they are. They're fucking people, dog. And, women, feminists, they want us men to suppress our natural instincts and sexuality, and they want us to essentially be extensions of them. Feminized men, that's why, see, have you ever noticed that women seem to love the fuck out of gay motherfuckers? You ever notice that? Gay men always get a pass with women. And when I say they get a pass, what I mean is they're never looked at with disgust. And I'm not saying that they should be, but you can turn around and look at a heterosexual man with disgust and disdain. Like, oh God, he's such a fucking dog. He's just so ew. Why can't you just love me from my mind? You're so ew. But a gay motherfucker, they don't think like that. They don't say that. Because gay men are super, super feminized men. Very feminized men. They're basically bitches with penises. So, yeah, man. I mean, they always get a pass with women. Always. They can always come around and nice guys. Now, I happen to be one of these motherfuckers, and I'm working on trying to, get out of that bullshit. That's why, this is Blue, the recovering beta male, yeah, nice guys get a pass because they're so fucking nice. They do not. First of all, man, nice guys, the problem with these motherfuckers is they lack assertiveness. They are so reserved and conservative and so careful about giving off any vibes of having any sort of sexual intent towards a woman. They all hung up on showing respect and making the woman feel comfortable. Now, I'm not saying that it's a bad thing to respect women or to want to make somebody comfortable with you. But again, all things in moderation. The nice guys take the bullshit to the extreme by basically suppressing their own masculinity, suppressing their own manhood, because basically they have been taught and trained that their manhood, that their masculinity is distasteful. That's basically what they have been taught to believe. And I know this shit from experience, man, because that's what I was taught. Not directly, but indirectly, through being a caretaker for my mother for as long as I was. Basically trained me to be a people-pleasing ass, pussified beta male. A footstool. You know, I have had to practice for years, and I work on it every day. I still work on it every fucking day. Practicing assertiveness with people. Practicing boundary enforcement. Putting up with shit tests from the bitches that I do date or try to date. Try to hook up with. You know, constant shit testing that goes on. And I'm trying to contend with that, you know, trying to stand up to that shit. And it's taxing, it's exhausting, because first of all, I'm not used to it. I'm trying to get my skin thicker and tougher to deal with that bullshit. But also, it's a thing of feeling like I'm out of line for basically saying, look, hey, show me some motherfucking respect. I feel out of line for sending that message to people. Now, respect, like I said, has to be earned, but common fucking courtesy, man. I mean, if a motherfucker just flat out disrespects you, and I mean blatantly, overtly, just shows you no sort of consideration or regard, you gotta check that motherfucker. And see, with the nice guy, he feels like he like there's something wrong with standing up for himself. I mean, it's disgusting, man. But this is, and it's very sad to say, but this is the programming. This is the conditioning of a lot of men today. A whole lot of men. And especially when it comes to women. Now, even nice guys will be a little bit quicker to stand up to other men. But they'll take all kind of shit off of a woman for two reasons. Number one, it's what they were taught to do. Because society basically says, please women. Please women. Make women happy. You know, do whatever you can to make women comfortable. Open doors for them. Pull out chairs for them. Never hit a woman. You know, all this old kind of shit. So that's the first reason. But the second reason is because nice guys or beta males, when they are making a feeble attempt to try and be sexual with a woman, they're so goddamn scared to take the risk of showing their sexual interests because they don't want to turn the woman off. They don't want to come on too strong. They don't want to be disrespectful. And they certainly don't want to rock the boat and make the woman mad and piss her off, because in their minds, they feel like if they do that, they damn sure ain't finna get no pussy. So they go through the whole dog and pony show, baby. They become little dancing fucking monkeys and shit. And of course, they fail the shit tests. The woman loses interest, and they end up in that proverbial friend zone. And they often get stuck in that motherfucking shit. And it's like, when you get put in the friend zone, good luck getting the fuck up out of that shit. Good fucking luck. So, these are just some general observations that I've made. Not saying that this shit is true in every single case and situation. Of course, you're always going to have your exceptions to the rule. But more often than not, brother, this is what I have seen across the board in all types of situations with different men from all types of backgrounds, different ethnicities, different family situations that they were brought up in, different parts of the country, other parts of the fucking world. I mean, this is just what I've observed globally with men. It is a goddamn epidemic, and it's sickening. So I have decided to start this podcast with the intention to basically dissect MGTOW and put my own little personal twist and spin on it. In fact, I've come up with a mission statement that essentially goes like this. This podcast, my mission, my purpose is to empower men through enlightened self-interest. I'm going to say that again. My mission and my purpose with this podcast is to empower men through enlightened self-interest. So, what's that all about? Where am I going with that? Well, like I said, one of the, or I guess we could say two of the primary weapons that feminists love to employ against men to emasculate them are guilt and shame. And these tools are particularly favored whenever a man shows any degree of what people would call in society today selfishness, being self-focused, being a little arrogant, a little egotistical, being a man. Men have egos. We've always had big fucking egos. It is part of the male nature. We are competitive by nature. We are dominant by nature. We are very linear, focused, driven individuals, the male species. And feminism today discourages that. Or we could say that it encourages it in women, but discourages it in men. Check this fucking shit out. See, this is why women are in the positions of power that they're in today, because women, females, have moved more into the masculine energy, while men have moved more into the feminine energy, the soft, receptive, passive feminine energy. So the roles have reversed, and this shit is being encouraged. It's being encouraged. It's being advocated that women become the new men and men become the new women. You see these motherfuckers running around with these goddamn man buns today? I mean, this might sound like some trivial shit, but seriously, you see men walking around with fucking man buns. They got their hair tied up in a fucking bun on the back of their goddamn head like a fucking bitch. There's man makeup out now. I don't know if you've seen or heard about this shit. There is fucking man makeup out now. Look it up. Man makeup. Dude, this is some fucked up shit from my point of view. I don't like this shit at all. Soft ass, feminine ass, pussified men. Weak punk motherfuckers. And this is what is encouraged. This is the new agenda today. Feminists love to see this shit because it means they stay on top. Brothers, my MGTOW brothers, we're going to have to become a little more selfish, a little more self-focused. We're going to dig deeper into that idea in upcoming episodes of this podcast, but I believe that MGTOW is definitely about becoming more self-focused, not in a way that is self-destructive, and certainly not in a way that is harmful to others. But my brothers, we have to stop allowing these bitches to make us feel guilty and ashamed for who and what we are, which is men, masculine men with testosterone. We want to fuck. And it ain't nothing wrong with that. Hell, bitches want to fuck. They won't say it. And society paints this fucking bullshit ass image of women being these innocent ass little angels, you know, that never think about sex, never want for anything sexual, never have any sexual desires, never want to express themselves sexually. But like I said, the bitches run around in fucking tight ass goddamn mini skirts, shit squeezing them so goddamn tight it's about to rip. And God forbid they drop something in the floor and have to bend over and pick it up. But we as men have to ignore all of that. We can't get turned on by it. We can't have thoughts. We can't, you know, I'm not saying that we should be going around calling women out of their names, you know. I mean, goddamn, no. I mean, certain things, because I'm going to have to dig deeper into this shit for real in an upcoming episode here. But, motherfucker, common sense should tell you. I'm talking to the women. I'm talking to adult females. Common sense should tell y'all bitches that certain things kind of go along with a particular territory when you venture into that. And you want to walk around showing your ass, showing your titties, you know, you want to do everything that is sexually suggestive, but you don't want anybody to respond to that. We supposed to just, quote unquote, control ourselves and not give off any sexual vibes like we want you. You know, I just think that shit, man, that is so fucking crazy. But that's That's the game today. And it's being played on a major scale. And it's like, it's frustrating to say the least, man, because it's like, these bitches, man, they get to have their cake and eat it too. They have the law on their side right now. I mean, in the workplace, that is like one of the primary battlegrounds for feminists. If they want to ruin a man's life, take his career, his livelihood, everything from him, they can do it. They can do it, man. I mean, it don't take nothing. It takes absolutely nothing, but a little mild complaint. This shit ain't even got to be all that serious. Motherfucker didn't even put his hands on you, but he looked at you a certain way. He made a certain verbal suggestion, said something, that was just mildly sexually suggestive. And man loses his goddamn job. That's the power these bitches have today, man. And personally, I feel like things have gotten to the point to where it's probably going to be that way for a while. Men have been in power for a long time, and now the tides are turning, and women are going to be in power for some time to come. I mean, this is just the way that the tides are turning right now. However, despite all of that, we as men can and still should be who the fuck we are. We should not fear women. We certainly should not continue to be pussified, punk ass, weak ass, soft ass beta males that take shit off of women. We really do need to go our own motherfucking way. And it starts with adopting the mentality that these bitches do not deserve to be placed on pedestals. They don't. They are human beings that eat, sleep, and shit just like your ass do. They don't deserve all this goddamn, fucking glory that they're getting right now. At least some of them. So, like I said, brothers, learn to be just a little bit more selfish. We're going to dig deeper into the whole concept of enlightened self-interest. We're going to dig deeper into the whole idea of being a self-focused man who is about his purpose, his mission, and who is about going his own way. There's no sin in that, regardless of what feminist bitch, might say to you. There's no sin in that. There's no harm in that. Hell, women are going their own motherfucking way. We got to do the same goddamn thing. Do I mean that, men should cut women off? Just stop dealing with them altogether? Well, good luck with that. That's going to be next to impossible to do. Like I said, I don't think that for women that the answer to their problems is emasculating men. I don't think that the answer to men's problems is hating women. You don't have to hate them, but you do have to stand up to them. You do have to enforce your boundaries with them. You cannot be afraid to upset them or piss them off. You just have to be prepared to go your own motherfucking way. Be a goddamn man. This shit is fucking simple. I'm pretty sure that men of generations past would be horrified to see what the fuck is going on today. The shit that I'm talking, man, is not goddamn rocket science. It's basic, fundamental human shit, man. Be who the fuck you are and have no shame in that. You know, be self-empowered. Be a little selfish. Be a little self-centered. Be a little arrogant. Might just save your goddamn life. So, anyway, stay tuned for another episode of the Recovering Beta Male. This is Blue, and I'll get at you later. This has been another episode of the Recovering Beta Male podcast, and I am your host, Blue, thanking you for taking the time to consume this content. And if it has been of any value to you, please like, comment, subscribe, and share with your fellow MGTOW brothers. Until next time, take care.